So what do we do when we face evil? We need to understand the danger that we face. Again, the devil can't touch us, can't harm us, but he can mess us up because he knows what we're afraid of, and he plays on our fears. And some of us, our greatest fear is that we won't be accepted, that we'll be rejected by those who we want to be a part of. And so maybe you're a teenager and you're always tempted to make a deal with evil and to say, I'm a Christian, but I'm going to compromise over here and I'm going to pretend I'm like my unbelieving friends so that they'll accept me, so that I'll have acceptance at my campus or among my friends. Or if you're an adult and you say, I can't really act on Monday through Friday like I do on Sundays because they would think I was weird at the office. And so I'm going to compromise a little bit with evil so that I can be accepted. Or maybe your biggest fear isn't acceptance, it's poverty. And so you just won't commit fully to following Jesus. You believe in him, you hope he saves your soul, but you're not going to give yourself to serving him because you're too busy working double shifts because you got to pay for that lifestyle you think you need. Or maybe your biggest fear is that there's this fun out there in the world that they're having that you're not going to be able to have if you completely commit yourself to Jesus. And so you say, I trust him and I know he's going to forgive me, but there's these areas in my life where I'm going to do my own thing. See how we make deals with evil? We make bargains and say, I belong to Jesus, but I want a little bit of this too, because we're afraid. So what do we do when we come face to face with evil? Number one, we admit our fears to God. Admit, you can't do this. You're too afraid. You're terrified. Admit what you're afraid of. Lord, I'm afraid that I won't have any friends. Lord, I'm afraid that I won't be able to afford to raise my kids the way I want to. Lord, I'm afraid that I won't have any fun. I'm afraid that evil people will gain power over me and I'll have to live in a country where evil people are in charge. I'm afraid to treat them like you treated them. Admit that, and then face evil and don't back down. Trust God enough to say, Jesus knew what he was talking about. When he said, love your enemy, he meant it. When he said, stay pure and follow my commandments, he meant it. When Jesus said that to be accepted into my family by his grace is better than the acceptance of the whole wide world. To please the Lord is better than the applause of men. He meant it. You'll find he brings more joy than all those things. And here's why. See, here's the secret. Jesus has already won. The final score is written down. One of my favorite scriptures, I'll share it with you right now, Colossians 2:15. Says, he disarmed the rulers and authorities and put them to open shame by triumphing over them in him. What's he talking about there? He's talking about what happened at the cross. If you read Colossians 2, it's about the death of Jesus on the cross. And it says, when the world looked at Jesus and thought he was defeated, that was the moment of his greatest triumph because he had defeated the enemy right there. The moment Jesus said it is finished and breathed his last, the devil was defeated once and for all. Now, that word triumphing, Paul uses a very precise term. He doesn't say he won or he was victorious. He uses the word triumph for a reason, because triumph was a very specific term in Roman society. Put it this way: if a Roman general won a big battle, so he's in Germany or he's in Gaul, he wins this big battle, he sends a message to Caesar. It says, I'm marching home. I'll be there in 3 months. I want you to throw a triumph for my army. A triumph was basically like a Super Bowl parade. So if Caesar agreed and if the Senate agreed, they would raise the funds and they would throw a big triumph. And what it looked like was the general riding in on his big white charger and his legions marching behind him in all their gleaming armor. And then behind them, and this is what made it a triumph, behind them came the survivors of the barbarians, right? The defeated foe, shackled, stripped, just paraded through town so everyone could laugh at them and mock them. It was a way for Rome to say, this is what happens when you mess with us. Paul uses that exact term for what happened when Jesus died on the cross. That Jesus, the moment he died, he won the victory, and every day since then, he's been leading the devil in triumph through this world. Every time a lost soul gets saved, every time a broken person comes to him and is made whole, every time somebody's life gets turned around, every time a church grows, every time a community is changed, every time a family is healed, every time the gospel does its thing, the devil is humiliated because there's not one blessed thing he can do about it. So don't walk in fear. Don't live in anxiety. Come to him and just say, I'm ready to walk with you, Jesus. I'm ready to walk in triumph over the enemy. Not that everything will always go your way, but you have the knowledge that even when the devil throws his worst at you, God's going to turn it around and make it into something beautiful. Walk in victory.